It seems Kourtney Kardashian has some serious concerns about Kim's parenting style, particularly when it comes to Kim's eldest daughter, North. Word is, Kourtney believes Kim might be following in their mom, Kris Jenner's footsteps, and not in the best way. For years, Kris has managed all her daughters' careers, often pushing them into the spotlight for fame and fortune. But this approach has led to some infamous scandals and complicated relationships within the family, and Kourtney is worried Kim is setting North on a similar path. The sisters have always been different. Kim loves the glitz and glam, often embracing a high-profile lifestyle without holding back, while Kourtney prefers a more grounded approach, keeping things simpler and setting stricter boundaries for her kids. But what has Kim done specifically with North that's causing Kourtney so much worry? And how does Kim feel about all of this? Even more, which sister has the right perspective here? We're diving deep into all these questions in today's video, so make sure to stay tuned for every juicy detail. And before we jump in, don't forget to hit subscribe so you're always up to date on the latest celebrity drama. Now let's take it from the top. North recently made her stage debut at none other than the Hollywood Bowl, a major venue with a reputation for hosting top talent. While a performance there is usually a huge milestone, many felt North's debut fell flat, sparking controversy over whether her appearance was more about her famous family ties than her own talent. Unfortunately, North's performance didn't impress. Many called it underwhelming, and some even labeled it embarrassing, as debuts in Hollywood are no small thing. A first performance can make or break credibility in the public eye, and this one left audiences feeling underwhelmed. To make matters worse, North's outfit seemed to draw even more attention to the fact that she often faced away from the audience, and her singing and dancing felt unpolished. Meanwhile, the background dancers stood out, delivering a polished performance that seemed to contrast North's apparent lack of preparation. Critics noted that North didn't seem focused on improving, raising questions about whether her fame and privilege have led to a sense of entitlement. This debut may be remembered, but perhaps not for the reasons she, or her family, hoped. It's concerning to see that level of entitlement at such a young age, especially since everyone's watching. But in North's case, genuine effort seemed lacking, and her debut felt more like a private family gathering than a professional Hollywood event. While there's nothing wrong with cheering on your child, a high-profile stage like this one demands much more. The event's credibility is now under scrutiny. Attendees took to social media, voicing frustration over what felt like a family affair, with everyone from Kim, Kanye, and Kris to Kourtney and her husband, Travis Barker, in the audience to cheer North on. The media has been raising eyebrows too, especially after Kim shared multiple behind-the-scenes clips from backstage, giving the entire debut a promotional spin. This situation highlights a larger issue. Are we, as an audience, overlooking true talent in favor of celebrity privilege? Stars like Selena Gomez once earned their place on stage through sheer hard work, but now it seems as though only the kids of celebrities are getting these opportunities. And while North may have wanted to perform, perhaps Kim and Kanye should have weighed the situation more carefully as her parents, ensuring she was truly ready for this kind of spotlight. They could have at least arranged private lessons for her beforehand. Starting small isn't a bad thing. Many kids begin in school plays, local theater, or on reality shows to build experience and confidence. But North was thrust onto one of the biggest stages right from the start, a debut that seemed excessive given her level of preparation. For those who attended, it must have felt unfair to pay for a weekend at the Hollywood Bowl only to watch a celebrity's child deliver an average performance. This isn't to criticize North personally, but there's a clear message here for Kim and Kanye. Placing a child in the spotlight without adequate preparation can do more harm than good. Now, let's dive into the most talked about part of the night, North's singing. I'll play a clip of her performance, and then we'll break down what happened on that stage. Watching North's performance, it's clear that she sings much like any other 10-year-old. Just ordinary. There's minimal stage presence, little movement, and a bit of unpolished singing. People are quick to critique North because she's Kanye's daughter, And with his reputation as one of the greatest artists of our time, expectations were high. This critique has also reignited the discussion around nepotism. So, what exactly is nepotism? Simply put, nepotism is the act of giving someone an advantage, privilege, or position because of family or personal connections rather than merit. This happens across industries, whether it's entertainment, business, politics, sports, or even healthcare. To break it down, it means giving opportunities to close friends or relatives instead of those who've earned it. While this may be clear to some, to others, it raises serious questions about fairness. Hollywood was once an industry where talent reigned supreme, but lately it seems to be shifting toward favoring connections over true skill. If this trend continues, Hollywood could start losing its charm as audiences realize that the industry prioritizes personal networks rather than genuine talent. Many, myself included, see this as a slippery slope toward a lack of authenticity in the entertainment world. While nepotism is nothing new, it's been around for ages. The public's growing awareness means we can choose to speak out and say no to these practices. Sources close to Kim have shared that North is struggling with the backlash, as she's grown up believing she's the best, encouraged by Kim's constant praise. Now, facing online criticism has made her frustrated, even turning some of that anger toward Kim, who fueled this confidence. Criticism can be tough, but had North received honest feedback early on, she might have been better prepared for the pressures of such a big debut. According to sources close to Kourtney, she also attended North's debut and wasn't happy with how Kim handled it as a parent. Kourtney has long been critical of their mother, Kris Jenner's approach to parenting, feeling that Kris has used her daughters to build wealth and fame. As the eldest Kardashian daughter, Kourtney has always stood out from her siblings. While her sisters allowed Kris to guide their careers and public lives, Kourtney resisted, opting instead for individuality and independence. She's never hesitated to express her own views, even when they clash with the Kardashian family's brand. Unlike her sisters, who often follow a similar look and lifestyle, Kourtney believes in embracing her unique path. In the Kardashian world, individuality seems rare, with Kris managing nearly every aspect of her daughters' lives, from brand deals and business ventures to even influencing their relationships. To Kourtney, Kris's approach seems more about creating copies of herself than raising her daughters as individuals. Kris Jenner's influence even extended to her children's relationships, many of which have faced public challenges. Rob Kardashian Jr., Kris's only son, has mostly been absent from the family's spotlight, rarely appearing on The Kardashians. Rumors suggest that Kris shifted her focus entirely onto her daughters, leaving Rob somewhat isolated, which some feel has hindered his personal success. Online critics have long pointed out Kris's seeming prioritization of fame over being an emotionally present mother, and it appears that some of her daughters, Kim, Khloe, and Kylie, now mothers themselves, are echoing this approach. But Kourtney has always stood apart, valuing independence and pushing back against Kris's control over her life. Her strong opinions and insistence on individuality have often led to family disagreements, according to sources. When it comes to North, Kourtney is reportedly concerned about Kim's parenting choices. She believes that Kim should break the cycle and provide a different environment for her kids. However, she feels Kim may be too wrapped up in her own pursuits to truly focus on them. A viral TikTok recently highlighted what might be North's first realization, that she didn't quite meet expectations on stage. In the past, whenever she performed, often alongside her father, Kanye, she received standing ovations and cheers. But this time was different. For a young child, that kind of feedback can be tough to process, and it's easy to feel for her, imagining how she might be handling the criticism circulating on social media about her performance. Kids take these moments to heart, and this experience may have hit her harder than anyone realizes. One user on X wrote, "I'm sorry, but casting Northwest as Simba when there are hundreds of properly trained theater kids with voice coaches, dance skills, and experience was a horrible choice. It definitely makes you question the credibility of the casting director you let Kim pay to ruin your show. It must have been painful for North to see people saying she didn't deserve to be on that stage. And while there's truth to that sentiment, is it really her fault? Not at all. This falls on her parents. If North had been truly prepared and talented in this context, the nepotism conversation might not even have come up. Critics pointed out that her performance didn't measure up to the other singers and dancers, questioning why she was given such a big platform. A viral TikTok clarified that the frustration isn't aimed at North herself, but rather at the prevalence of nepotism in the entertainment industry. Any performer or parent of a young performer who has spent years training in acting, dance, and singing is allowed to be really, really deeply offended by this casting choice. Actor and former talk show host Rosie O'Donnell shared her thoughts on North's performance, calling it tragic on every level. What's more, this concert wasn't even North's own showcase. It was a celebration of The Lion King and its legacy at the Hollywood Bowl in LA, filmed for release on Disney+. The event featured a lineup of talented artists, many of whom have received prestigious awards like Tonys and Oscars. Sharing the stage with such accomplished performers is a rare privilege, making North's performance all the more scrutinized. Reports indicate that other children auditioned for this opportunity, but were turned away due to the influence of Kim and Kanye. Now, all eyes are on Kim to see how she will work to repair North's image after this experience. What do you think about North's performance? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching, and until next time.